Hi! Welcome to Daniel C. Mantas Elementary School's virtual moving up ceremony for kindergarten school year 2021-2022 with the theme K-12 graduates pursuing dreams and fostering resilience in the face of adversity. Together with our kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Madeline Sparsha Alia. To start with, let's show our nationalism by singing the Philippine National Anthem, to be followed by a prayer, the original hymn, and the Zamboanga del Sur March.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, kailan sa sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simulan, sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinatang tulang awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang lang matawag mo'y tagumpay na naghihiling, makituwing at araw niya kailan ang ay di maghihiling. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya na pagkay mga amin, at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Lord, if we could, we would fill our hands with all the wonderful things you give us. Then we'd lift them up and give them back to you. Everything I am, everything I am, everything I'll be, everything I'll be. I give it to you, Lord. I give it to you, Lord. And
a rich land where dreams unfold. Its people marching on the progress, hearts and mounted brave and true. Hand in hand with brother Filipinos, sa puso will make you great. We work unceasing without relenting, for country's might you can count on us. Come to beautiful Zamboanga Sur, welcome to God's great gift given to man. Share our joys and sorrows, join in the making of a wondrous land. Zamboanga del Sur, the bountiful, beloved by all hearts, great and small. We will live for you, we will die for you. Fearless is our Zamboanga del Sur. Come to beautiful Zamboanga Sur, welcome to God's great gift given to man. Share our joys and sorrows, join in the making of a wondrous land. Zamboanga del Sur, the bountiful, beloved by all hearts, great and small. We will live for you, we will die for you. This is our Zamboanga del Sur.
To our very courageous, strong-willed, and enthusiastic school teachers and staffs, headed by our dear Principal, Ma'am Abdihilot. To our distinguished guest speaker. To our ever-supportive barangay officials, from the leadership of our barangay captain, Pedro Mantos. To our loving and understanding parents, friends, visitors, and most of all to our beloved kindergartens. Welcome to the opening of Moving Up ceremony of Daniel C. Mantos Elementary School Kindergarten Department for the school year 2021 and 2022 with the theme Graduate ng K-12, masigasig sa mga pangarap at matatag sa mga pagsubok. Hindi naging madali sa ating lahat ang dulot ng COVID-19 pandemic. Sa selebrasyon ngayong araw, nais kong bigyan ng pagpupugay ang kindergarten teacher na si Ma'am Madeline Alia at higit sa lahat ang mga magulang. Ngayong panahon ng pandemya, naging literal ang kahulugan ng kasabihang na tayong mga magulang ang unang guro ng ating mga anak. Dahil sa pandemya, walang face-to-face classes. Ang mga magulang ang naging punong tagapagturo, tagapagpaunawa ng mga aralin sa eskwela, sa tulong at gabay ng ating butihing guro. Ang suporta ng mga magulang sa mga anak sa pagkamit sa unang hakbang ng kanilang mga pangarap ay nagniningning sa gitna ng madilim na pandemya. This celebration is indeed for all the parents who did their best despite all the challenges. To the parents, embrace yourself and say to yourself, good job. Good job. Good job. Again, welcome and thank you.
To our school principal, Ma'am Alpilot. To our class teacher, Ma'am Madeline Alia. To our dear teacher, parents, classmates, and friends, good morning. Thank you for being with us today. Things are a little different this year due to pandemic, but I'm proud and happy that we made it. On behalf of DCM Kindergarten Class 2021-2022, it is with joy and pride that I welcome you all to our moving up ceremony. Thank you and God bless us all.
My warmest greetings to all the school officials, administrators, faculty members and advisors, teachers, parents and guardians of the graduates and completers of school year 2021-2023. On behalf of the Department of Education, or DepEd, I am proud to celebrate the successes, the milestones, and achievements of this batch of graduates and promoted students in this year end of school rights with the theme K-12 graduates pursuing dreams and fostering resilience in the face of adversity. In the past 6 years, we committed our mandate to enhance the quality of education, broaden its access, and ensure its relevance in the rapidly changing world. DepEd endeavored to address each challenge by instituting programs and reforms in the department. We have fully implemented the K-12 curriculum and the aggressive reforms of Sulong Educalidad to produce globally competitive learners and teachers. We also expanded our mission for accessible education by strengthening the Alternative Learning System, or ALS, and the Last Mile Schools programs to reach more Filipinos. Likewise, we also established the National Academy of Sports and Education Futures Unit to create more opportunities for our learners to anticipate the future of the education system in the country. Committed to sustaining the momentum, the department has developed and implemented the Basic Education Learning Continuity Program, or BELCP, where we offered various learning modalities and produced award-winning initiatives such as DepEd TV, DepEd Commons at the height of the pandemic. Eventually, the department held its grounds against an unprecedented challenge in basic education as we progressively expand the reintroduction of face-to-face classes in the country. Indeed, education is a shared responsibility. This is why we express our utmost appreciation to our dear parents and teachers for being our partners in nurturing the youth throughout the years. To the class of 2022, resilience is in your blood. You have survived one of the toughest times in human history, yet still embraced education as your primary tool to success. I believe that with your passion and purpose, you can reach your dreams and change the world. May you keep on harnessing and imparting wisdom as together we will build a nation of competent global citizens and future leaders as well as good Filipino citizens. Thank you.
As the principal of Daniel C. Mantos Elementary School, it is my honor to present to our school's division superintendent, Dr. Maharani M. Jacinto, CESO 5, our kindergarten completers, of which 22 are boys and 24 are girls, a total of 46. I hereby petition our public schools district supervisor to certify the completion of our kindergarten pupils.
By the power vested upon me by the Department of Education as Public Schools District Supervisor of Mahayag South District, and upon the presentation of your school head that you have satisfactorily completed the academic requirements of the K-12 Enhanced Basic Education curriculum as prescribed by the Department of Education, I now certify you completers of school year 2021-2022 and hereby recommends to our Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Maharani M. Jacinto, CESO 5, for the acceptance and confirmation.
By virtue of the authority delegated to me by the Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Maharani Macaraig Jacinto, CESO 5, as vested to her through Regional Director Dr. Roth L. Fuentes, CESO 4, and by the Secretary of the Department of Education, Honorable Leonor Magtulis Briones, upon the presentation of your principal, certified by your Public Schools District Supervisor Dr. Lito Pancho Bahian, that these candidates for moving up have satisfactorily complied all the requirements of the Enhanced Basic Education curriculum for kindergarten as prescribed by the Department of Education. I now confirm you completers of school year 2021-2022. Congratulations!
Ladies and gentlemen, the kindergarten completers for the school year 2021-2022. Alom John Lee Mandawi, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Charlo Alom. Barunday Sian Reed Sonog, son of Mr. and Mrs. Rigi Barunday. Comendador John Leo Sonog, son of Mr. and Mrs. Erranti Comendador. Completado Kini Mark, son of Mrs. Gwyn Completado. Edem Locas Rosiana, son of Mr. and Mrs. Arnel Edem. Eroy Sweetsan Bituunan, son of Mr. and Mrs. Joy Ramel Eroy. Handomon Clark Kevin Aguaviva, son of Mr. and Mrs. Nicanor Handomon. Labadan Luke Simon Saldanya, son of Mr. and Mrs. Michael Labadan. Laborte Daniel Magsalay, son of Mr. and Mrs. Dante Laborte. Laborte Jonard Angkap, son of Mr. and Mrs. John Ree Laborte. Linis Jasper John Estabas, son of Mr. and Mrs. Roel Linis. Maghanoy Rigi Jr. Danghil, son of Mr. and Mrs. Rigi Maghanoy Sr. Manata Drake Arceo, son of Mr. and Mrs. Lister Manatad. Mantos Stephen, son of Mrs. Jenny Lee Mantos. Nano Noel Jr. Pagatpat, son of Mr. and Mrs. Noel Nano Sr. Nokera John Mark Avi, son of Mr. and Mrs. Isa Nokera. Otia Joral Jarisco, son of Mr. and Mrs. Geraldine Otia. Pujutan John Kenon Kanumay, son of Mr. and Mrs. Jolfi Pujutan. Puvadora Remark Jarisco, son of Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Puvadora. Puvadora Richel Vince Hacomilia, son of Mr. and Mrs. Johnny Puvadora. Rapira Kenneth Apiag, son of Mr. and Mrs. Eric Rapirac. Ripoli Jestoni Rapirac, son of Mr. and Mrs. Jaime Ripoli. Ador Dimple Jean, the daughter of Mrs. Mary Jean Ador. Agan Shairami Agipo, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. G.C. Agan. Agipo Analisa Gabuli, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Nikki Agipo. Agiri Trixia K. Banak, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Alex Aguirre. Ayuban Lovely Joy Makasalong, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ephraim Ayuban. Babanto Mish Monica Cuarto Cruz, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Arnel Babanto. Bartolaba Jackie Negro, the daughter of Mrs. Pinky Bartolaba. Benetes Clea Marata, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Edgar Benetes. Cobrado Alexandria Valero, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ashley Cobrado. Cordelia Xiomara Bitas, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Giovanni Bitas. Daniel Arjin Sugot, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Arnel Dangil. Indrina Hamela Gabriel Paruhinog, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jamail Indrina. Fernandez Christy Faith Laborti, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jonald Fernandez. Gabito Chelena Laborti, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Manuel Gabito. Gabito Jennifer Laborti, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ebenezer Gabito Sr. Gabito Lovely Jean Alvarico, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Flaviano Gabito. Himoros Viancami Jerez, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ed Pearl Himoros. Lambuhon Eprilene Dola, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Elmar Dola. Lantaya Krisha, the daughter of Mrs. Kristen Lantaya. Mangkao Ginilin Lasya, daughter of Mrs. Shirley Mangkao. Nano Dana Jane Pagatpat, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Noel Nano Sr. Royo Maybe Binzagon, the daughter of Mrs. Nelva Ruyo. Sarong Julia Paruhinog, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Sarong. Takoy Altea Grace Mantos, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ronilo Takoy. Congratulations!
My sincerest congratulations to the graduates and completers of school year 2021-2022. Education has to continue. Despite the pandemic that has changed the landscape of our educational setup, you remain steadfast in your quest for quality education, even with the different learning modalities being introduced at your end. Hence, this year's theme, K-12 graduates, pursuing dreams and fostering resilience in the face of adversity, speaks about being resilient no matter what life brings, either adversities, challenges, or triumphs. Being resilient against the pandemic time is your weapon in handling the hardship in life to become better and productive citizens of our country. Today is a significant milestone in your life as a learner. Your graduation and completion day, a moment to celebrate after 2 years of coping with the demands of time. Your Mahayag South District will always look upon your relentless perseverance and resilience as you tread another academic journey in your life. Be the best of what you are and have, yet remain humble and nimble. Be a bearer of light to others, as our district mantra encompasses, always into excellence, never out to competence. Always put your trust in God. Reach for a brighter future. No amount of pandemic will stop your dreams. Congratulations to your school heads and teachers who have nurtured you to become what you have accomplished today. Conversely, to your parents who shared light to education in this trying time and accepted the responsibility as partners in education. Equally, to our local stakeholders for their resources in ensuring full support, your education may not hamper or put you at a disadvantage. Again, congratulations!
A blessed day to all of us. This could be the most or one of the most momentous and memorable graduation day, because this could be the last virtual graduation that you will be attending. To our graduates' parents, congratulations. And let me share with you 6 lessons we have learned from the lockdown and pandemic. You might be wondering, why lessons from pandemic at this graduation or completion day? Because we all know that the best lessons are learned during hard times, and the best lessons we learn are during the most difficult times of our lives. Let me start with the first lesson, and it's about family. Family and home is indeed a gift. We realize that during pandemic, our bonding time with our husbands, with our children, are the longest during this time. During this pandemic, we come to learn that we come to know more of our children, because we spend most of our time, we could eat lunch, breakfast, and dinner together. We come to know more about each other during this pandemic. And I think the best place we could be during the lockdown is our respective homes, di ba? It's the safest place we could be. And we realized that without a family during the lockdown could be the scariest thing, because indeed family is a gift from God. The next lesson which I would like to share with you is about when you have all the reasons to quit, never ever quit. I would say resiliency, the best characteristic of Filipinos, and adaptability are the keys why we survive all this. Some of our lolos and lolas may have been born or alive during the World War II, and they experienced that schools were closed for 4 years during pandemic. But we at the Department of Education, we continued. We opted to provide education and tried our best to provide quality education through printed modules, through online learning, through radio-based or TV-based instructions. In other words, we do not allow pandemic. We may consider schools to be closed because from time to time, parents go to school to get their students' module, but it's never quitting. We never stop providing education because we know what will happen if pandemic would last for 5 years. Does it mean 5 taon hindi papasok yung mga bata? So, kung grade 7 ka ngayon, dapat 4 na taon yung maaaksaya sa'yo. But we all believe that never stop at the most difficult time or giving way to pandemic will not develop better individuals, better citizens of the country, of the world. So as a person, as learners, I know in your young life, in your student life, there would be difficulties that would come your way. It could be a heartbreak, pwede kang ma-heartbroken, pwede kang, there would be some challenges in your life like sickness, financial challenges, and other trials that may come your way. But never quit. Just like us, don't stop, because these are just things that, those are temporary things. Daanan mo lang. Learn to fight. Learn to survive. As I have stated, thank God we are all alive after almost 3 years of the COVID virus. We are here because we never quit living. We never stop breathing. We never stop studying, and we are learning. The next lessons which I would like to highlight is about be like ants. Yung mga langgam. Well, we all know that the most important characteristic of the ants are they are capable of they invest wisely. During summertime, ano bang ginagawa ng mga langgam? Di ba they try to store food, preparing themselves or preparing for the rainy days. Investing wisely means putting your best in the resources that you have. Resources can be time, it can be money, it can be your talent. So, be like us. We never know when the next pandemic or when the next trials of your life may come your way. But if you have invested on something, like kung may pera kang nilagay sa bangko, meron kang mawi-withdraw. Kung ikaw ay nag-aral ng mabuti, for me, and I think your parents would agree with me that education is the best investment. That's why your parents are working hard for you to be able to get good education. So, what will be your job as students? Study harder, because if you invest wisely by reading books, studying well, meron kang huhugutin pagdating ng kinabukasan mo. Hindi ka magugutom. Kung may edukasyon ka, meron kang magandang trabaho na pwede mong makuha. So, invest wisely, be like ants. The next lesson is about life itself is a lesson. Again, connected to dun sa number 3, dun sa third lesson, which is investing wisely. No? Whether you like it or not, being in isolation can be taken in a positive or in a negative way. As I have stated, isolation by itself is very negative because man is a social being. But look at it this way. I myself, I was able to experience, deep and dark isolation when I contacted COVID. And when I was at home, trying to get well, to recover, I came to realize and to learn a lot of things. I realized that reading more, researching more, will help me overcome my boredom. Just like you, what have you learned? What skills have you learned from isolation? For our students, ano bang natutunan nyo during wala kayong ginagawa? You know, let's not allow boredom and negativity for us to bring out the best in us. Alam ko during pandemic, maraming naging plantita. Maraming mga fur babies tayo. Marami tayong good habits that we develop. And this is what I'm telling you, that we learn, let's make, or let's be optimistic instead of being more negative. Huwag tayong maging nega sa pagkakataon na tayo ay naiinip na. May kasabihan that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. Pag wala kang ginagawa, doon pumapasok lahat ng mga negativity. So instead of swallowing or wallowing in self-pity, learn to adapt, learn to to think, or why don't you come up with some good things that you can develop, skills that you can develop. As I have stated, napakarami pwede kang mag-alaga ng isda, ang dami mong pwedeng gawin. Spending more time with your parents, having a nice conversation, a simple meal, learning how to cook can be a good way of overcoming some negativity and anxieties that you might have felt during isolation or during a long stay of lockdown. Another lesson which I think is very, very important is there's always good in every bad situation. I think this is somewhat connected with bringing out the best in some of the worst situation. This can only be overcome when you don't put a limit on what you can do. For the students, sa mga graduates natin, young adults, marami tayo kasi mga self-imposed limitation, like isipin natin, hindi ako mag-i-engineering kasi mahina ako sa math. Hindi ako kukuha ng journalism kasi hindi ako marunong sa English. But these are, before you know it, these are just self-imposed limitations. Because when you put a limit right there and there, chances are you're not giving yourself an opportunity to grow. And I hope this pandemic has taught you that stretching your limit is the best way for us to survive this pandemic. And yun yung napatunayan natin. Kasi kung hindi tayo naging adaptive, if you don't adapt in the modular or printed modular system, if you don't allow or if you don't adapt to online distance learning, hindi ka matututo. You know, this pandemic has robbed us in a lot of things. During the last 3 years that we are in lockdown, maraming pagkakataon na hindi tayo nakapag-celebrate ng birthday na kasama natin yung mga friends, family members. Maraming pagkakataon na we're not able to shake hands, we're not able to see eye to eye or face to face with our loved ones and other friends. But I hope this pandemic would also somehow taught us a lot of things that life during pandemic has taught us many lessons. It's a lessons to be learned. And we are learning and we are growing. Because that's what life is all about. We continue to learn. It's a learning process. Habang nandito tayo sa mundo, while we are still alive, give yourself an opportunity to learn new things and to better improve yourself and to overcome your fears. Do not impose limits on what you can do. And finally, last but not the least, is it takes really a village to educate a child. I guess every parents would agree with me that tutoring or helping your kids to answer their respective modules is not very easy. You realize now, ang hirap palang magturo. Ang hirap pala ng buhay ng isang teacher. I hope parents would realize that it's not an easy task to teach your children. And for us, DepEd, you know, there are 27 million Filipino learners across the country. And during pandemic, during the opening of the limited face-to-face, which started last November, we realized, and I hope many parents would realize, that the excitement that the students felt during the first day of the limited face-to-face is an indication by itself that students, children, or youth miss school. Iba yung face-to-face engagement with the teachers. Teachers remain to be the most essential factor in the learning environment. Yung face-to-face, hindi natin matatawaran na kaharap natin yung nagtuturo sa atin. And parents would realize it's very difficult if you play the role of a parents and teachers at the same time. And we at the Department of Education, we just don't stop. We embrace the challenge kahit may pandemic pa. Kailangan buksan na ang klase because this is one realization. Statistics would show that many students who know how to read and write unlearn. When you say unlearn, yung mga dating marunong magbasa at magsulat, After almost 3 years of lockdown, na hindi sila pumapasok ng face-to-face sa school, nakalimutan nila kung paano magbasa at magsulat. This is very alarming because in education, there's these principles that after so long a time that you don't get to practice, you might forget it. That's the principle of unlearning. And so, with what we have gone through during pandemic, as an educator, I would like to congratulate all the teachers, the institution that you represent, the administrators, because we are slowly getting back to the normal. It may not be the old normal because it would never be 100% capacity in the school. That means we will be implementing hybrid learning wherein there would be students going to school and there would be students who are still online or in their modular scheme, but this should be done alternately in order to provide measures that will help or prevent the spread of virus. As the vaccination rate increases and as the COVID cases decline, I hope our aim or our goal to put premium on education never fades.
Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to everyone. I am so happy to have this chance to introduce to you our guest speaker this morning. She is a woman of virtue and simplicity, a living inspiration to the young ones. She is not new to us simply because she is one of the successful graduates here in Daniel C. Mantos Elementary School. She is the daughter of Mr. Samson Yamba Halalon and Mrs. Virginia Remolina Gutwal. She graduated her elementary studies in 1993, graduated secondary education in San Jose National High School in the year 1997. She continued her studies in Governor Alfonso D. Tan Memorial College. She took Bachelor in Elementary Education and graduated in the year 2003. She also took non-degree course. She successfully completed vocational instruction and software in the year 2003. She was a former overseas Filipino worker in Kuwait in the year 2004 to 2019. Last March 27, 2022, she took and luckily passed the licensure examination for teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker, Miss Ginaline Gutwal Halalon.
My salute to the school mentors of Daniel C. Mantos Elementary School, teachers, parents and guardians of the kindergarten completers, school year 2021-2022, with its theme, Masigasig sa mga pangarap at matatag sa mga pagsubok, pursuing dreams and fostering resilience in the face of adversity. To the class of 2022, it has been an amazing year watching each and every one of you grow with determination in pursuing your studies amidst this global pandemic. The year has come and gone so quickly. I am so excited for your future, and I want nothing but the best version of yourself in the near future. I know that each and every one of you will succeed. Just put God in the center of everything. Remember, always work hard and never give up. Leave footprints of love and kindness on every step on your journey. It is just the beginning in your education. Continue pursuing your dreams in order to have a better future. Gusto ko nga ang mga bata sa Daniel C. Mantos sa umaabot na panahon, mahimo kamong mga doktor, abogado, pulis, nurses, mga maestro ug maestra. Himuha ang inspirasyon ang kalisod sa kinabuhi. Og dili ta magpadaog niini. Mangandoy ta og dako, libre lang ang mangandoy. Libre kini. Ug ugma damlag imo kining makabot. Mga bata, padayon sa imong pagkabuutan, pagkamatinahuron, ug respetuhon nato ang atong isig katawo. Padayon sa pagkabot sa imong mga pangandoy. To all the teachers, advisors, and principal, thank you for molding our learners. Thank you for your patience in these difficult times. Pandemic can't stop to educate our learners. A resilient Filipino have strong confidence in pursuing our dreams. Before I end this, I leave these quotes according to Elizabeth Warren. A good education is a foundation for a better future. God bless and mabuhay Batch 2022. Congratulations.
Before I close this virtual moving up ceremony, on behalf of our school principal, Dr. Alp D. Hilot, and teachers, let me take this opportunity to express our deep gratitude to you, our dear parents of DCMES kindergarten pupils, who give their full support to their children to make this day a day of reaping your fruit of labors. Our dear kindergarten pupils, congratulations on your success and well-deserved pride. Definitely, today means the highlight of great applause for your exemplary accomplishment. Moreover, another door awaits you with lots of opportunities, challenges, chances, and pursuits. Nevertheless, adversities are not an exemption to the rule of having that success. Continue to prove to the world that DCMES pupils are resilient and always strong in facing the challenges of time. As you make new steps, you are entwined with predicaments, but hold on and believe in yourself that you can do it. Dear pupils, you will be a reflection for tomorrow on how you build a strong foundation in your family, friends, community, and even yourself. As I close, let me leave this famous quotation of Confucius. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall. Thank you, and God bless you.